Today we're going to move into Math and Focus, Chapter 1, Section 2. And Section 2 talks about the product of powers. So I just want to remind you, product means, what does product mean? Multiplication. And powers, really, when we talk about powers, that's talking about our exponents. So we're going to multiply expressions with exponents. So let's look at our first one. A to the 6th times a to the 4th. If we write out a to the 6th, we can see that that's going to be a times a times a times a times a times a. How many times? 6 times. And if we write out a to the 4th, that's going to be a times a times a times a. How many times? 4 times. Well, now we have all these a's written out. Can we put those a's together? They're all a's. How many a's do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So really this is a to the 10th. Let's look at another example. So let's start. B to the 3rd. What is b to the 3rd? B to the 3rd means b times b times b times b to the 7th, which is really b to the b times b times b. How many is that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was a lot to write out. All right, so in total, how many b's does that give us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So really, what's our base? Our base, I have repeated what? B's. And how many of them do I have? I have 10. All right, to look at our examples. A to the 6th times a to the 4th. B to the 3rd times b to the 7th. Look at the bases. What is our base here? Our base here is A. And what's our base here? A. What do you recognize about that? How about the next one? Our base here is B. And our base here is B. So what do you recognize about those? What do we recognize? They are the same. The bases are the same. So I'm going to give you a rule, but this rule only works if the bases are the same. So here's your rule. The rule is if you have a to the m times a to the n, what do we do with those exponents? We add them. A to the m plus n. So if we look at our first example, we had, let's look at our second example because I can't remember the first one. Our second example was what? B to the 3rd times b to the 7th. I remember that because I wrote out 7 b's. And so if we check that out, b to the 3 plus 7, what does that give us? B to the 10th. Okay, I think our first example was a to the 6th times a to the 4th. And so we get a to the 6 plus 4. And that would be a to the 10th. Okay, it's your turn to try. There's no form tonight because it's very hard to write the exponents on the form. Tonight you're going to read pages 13 to 16 in your Math and Focus book and do all of the guided practice problems numbers 1 through 8. Please make a box 8 in your notes notebook. So I want you to use the notebook that's for your notes. Be sure to write the problem, show any work, and write the answers. We will go over these together in class tomorrow. See you tomorrow.